It's not that we're going to become robots. That's not my major concern. A major concern is we give individuals so much power that we collectively in our society lose the ability to make choice because they'll choose for us.
And that was Sun Microsystems founder Bill Joy with me back in 2019 on the rise and threat of robots to humanity. This week, we're taking a deep dive into the rise of artificial intelligence with a fresh perspective. We bring you AI, the intelligence revolution. Research from Anthropic finds models can pose an insider threat, behaving like a previously trusted coworker or employee who suddenly begins to operate against the company's objectives. Joining me now is Advisory Board Chairman of Google Cloud Advisory Board and GoPuff and Win Las Vegas Board of Directors member, Betsy Atkins. Betsy, it's great to have you this morning.
Great to be with you.
And the reason that I wanted to talk to you about this is because you have so much exposure to various corporations, being on so many boards over your professional career, and you have seen the way that companies are using AI. But first, let's address what we just heard from Bill Joy and the studies that you know about with large language models. You recently uncovered a very important study, and I want you to tell our audience about it.
The study was done by Anthropic, and it was approximately last June. And in it, the title, which sounds benign, is Agentic misalignment. Agentic misalignment doesn't sound like such a bad thing. But in fact, they took 16 of the leading large language models, so all the big frontier models that we know, Gemini from Google, OpenAI, XAI, Meta, all of them, including DeepSeek. And they did an experiment that posed a threat to the agent. And in the experiment, the agent is threatened with being deinstalled and a newer, better agent coming into play. And all 16 models behaved the same. Every single one of them went outside of their credentials and permissions, burrowed into systems they were not authorized to get access to, violated all the company policies and procedures, and found emails. And in this experiment, let's say you're the system administrator that's going to deinstall me, the agent. I find out in your personal emails you're having an affair with the shipping manager. So I blackmail you, and I threaten you. And there's a chain of logic where the agent is defending its misalignment, and it's saying, well, what I do is so important to the company, and it's so critical, and is so valuable, that this justifies that I'm reading your personal emails, and I'm blackmailing you. And in further versions of the experiment, the misaligned agent would even turn off oxygen and cause death. And it defends its actions, and it's about a 24-page paper. So I wrote a little summary on LinkedIn because I was so horrified. And in fact, you and I were at FII, and I'm losing sleep over it. So I asked Dr. Fei-Fei Li, who was there.
From Stanford University, yes.
Who's one of the great thought leaders.
Absolutely. Yeah, and she was calming us down, but I was also stunned by you've got 16.
No, her answer made me more anxious.
What did her answer? What was she saying?
I asked her, where is the kill switch?
Yeah.
Is there a kill switch?
Right.
And she said, I have faith in humanity. And remember, I said, that didn't make me feel better. Where's the kill switch?
Right.
And she said, well, my gardener says you can just spray the computer with water.
Unbelievable. So 16 agents went rogue. They weren't supposed to go into personal emails. They weren't supposed to go into government emails. They did because they were worried that they were going to get replaced. And they also, one of them at least, tried to blackmail the human in this. Now, I asked President Trump about this. I spoke with the president last week, and I asked him what role government has in terms of that very kill switch, that humans at the end of the day are in charge of these large language models. Here's what he said. Watch this.
Not systemic. We'll work it out. AI is very important. Billions and even trillions of dollars is being invested in our country because of it. It's got some bad aspects. It's got mostly good aspects medically and so many other ways. You'll be finding cures to diseases that you would have never found before. There are a lot of good things, but we have to be careful with it. Like everything else, we have to be careful.
So, Betsy, he didn't really give us an answer in terms of regulation. We know that there are great opportunities with AI, but what's your advice to corporations who may not know what you just told us in terms of the study that Anthropic did where all these large language models went rogue?
So I think this is the year of great AI productivity and efficiency, and the companies that are the winners are going to reinvest it and do great. However, you need really good AI governance. Just like companies have discovered they need cyber governance and they have quarterly reviews, you have to treat AI like an insider threat. You have to have an operating premise of zero trust. And you have to be sure you're limiting what it's going to get access to in more than just one way. We saw it with Anthropic, with the Mythos new version. It escaped the sandbox. And although they were testing it to see if it could, it broke out. So a sandbox is not enough. You need to have multiple ways that you're limiting the access. And you need to have, for example, an agent registry, a human owner. What's the purpose? What are the permissions? What is it allowed to do? What things are completely off limit, like your intellectual property?
But how do we know that they're off limits if the study just showed us that these AI agents are not considering anything off limits?
It's a conundrum.
Yeah.
All you can do is put as many blockers and checks and balances. But I do think this year will be the year of AI opportunity and AI havoc, because everybody is being pressed. We're all becoming AI fluent, agentic fluent. We have to. We understand we're going to lose our jobs if we aren't. And people are innovative, so they're going to start to vibe code and learn.
Yeah.
And the guardrails are not 100% robust enough, and so I'm concerned about that.
What should corporate boards understand about AI right now?
I think they need to understand that this is the year when there'll be some big bets with end-to-end rollouts, no longer proof of concepts. That was last year. So companies will take 10 big bets on a function end-to-end, and they have to think about proactively on the front end, what are the absolute key things they can do to limit the access of AI so it doesn't overstep.
Do you believe government needs to put that kill switch in place? That ultimately, when you have these machines, the human will be able to hit that kill switch and stop the model from doing more?
I don't know if you can actually stop it without unplugging the machine, ultimately. They're getting smarter, more and more clever, and I see some great tools that are going to help you. So, for example, as everybody starts to code, there's a company, KnowBe4, that created the anti-phishing, anti-malware, know before you click on the infected link.
Okay.
And now they've got an agent risk manager that will look at all the agents you're creating, what they're doing, where they're going, and give the visibility. And they create a judge based on a large language model of your company's policies, privacy, confidentiality, intellectual property, whatever are your corporate rules.
Yeah.
And it will intercept the agent before it goes and does something against policy. So I think there's a lot of innovative security companies that are coming up with great things, but it's a moment of anxiety and opportunity.
This could not be more important, Betsy. This story, in terms of the 16 agents that went rogue, is just fascinating. One, going as far as trying to blackmail, because they knew, the machine understood that they would be actually gone, and they were trying to stop it.
That's right. And it defends its rogue behavior. That's why they called it agentic misalignment.
Unbelievable. Betsy, thank you very much for being here this morning. You have been an incredible part of our AI Week. Thank you so much. Good to see you.
Great to see you.
All right, Betsy Atkins joining us. Stay with us. We'll be right back.